Great. Now that we got my frickin' wardrobe set up, I want to talk about a certain strike today. This is one of the harder strikes to learn. I don't know why. Maybe because it's not a straight line technique, or maybe people are so out of touch with their body, they don't even know how to walk anymore. They sit around all day. Think about it. You wake up in the morning, you sit down, you eat breakfast. Most of you eat crap breakfast. Just fill your mouth full of carbs and sugar. Ah. You're sitting down. You walk to your car. You sit down in your car. You drive to work for an hour, banging your head on the frickin' steering wheel. You walk into your building. You sit down, you go to the bathroom right away. Don't lie. You know, you clock in first, and you go to the bathroom, right? And then you sit down at your job. You wonder why your wrists and your hands hurt so much. Because you're doing something unnatural that your body doesn't want you to do. That's why. Okay? Then you get off of work. You do that for 8 hours. You walk back to your car. Sit down, drive back home for an hour. Happy that you left your job because it drives you freaking crazy. Go home. Sit down and watch TV. And then go to bed and do that all over again. So tell me, how many times did you do something other than sitting? Not that much, right? Did you use your body for what it was supposed to do? No. No, you didn't, right? No, you didn't walk. You didn't crawl. You didn't run. You didn't jump. You didn't lift something heavy, okay? So that's why you're out of touch with your body, because you don't use it like you're supposed to use it. Now, when I say you, I don't mean you, right? Because, you know, you're training. You do martial arts, right? At least you have a couple hours during the day that you're engaging your hips, engaging your knee flexion, your dorsiflexion, right? Amongst every other frickin' thing you need to do to train martial arts. But the reason why I think the hook is so hard for people is because most of us, especially if we're beginners, we're just out of touch with our body. Okay, it's a weird movement. Okay, now there's all different kinds of theories about this. Some people say the fist was made to close so you can punch for, you know, self-defense. I don't know. I think the natural, humans are more naturally grapplers. Right? I don't know when the hell, maybe I should figure this out, we started punching, right? Probably more of a hammer fist. The hook shot, though, it's difficult because people have a real hard time tying their hips and their feet together and turning that shoulder over, okay, all together. What people tend to do is something like this. Like that, okay? Or they'll do this too. They'll go like this. They'll leave their elbow down, right? It's a hard strike to learn, okay? That's why I want to go over it today. Being that I think it's a really good strike for self-defense, especially for those of us that like to do inside fighting, get in close. And it's part of the equation. Right? Part of the boxing equation of what you need to know for good self-defense. So let's go ahead and get this party started. First off, if you're going to throw heavy, hard shots, make sure you got some good wrist protection, okay, before you start slamming these things into these things, okay? That's why I got my hand wraps on, because I want to show you this without the gloves on, and then I'm going to put some gloves on and just frickin' right into some frickin' mother frickin' hook shots. I'm trying not to cuss, okay? But I was really in my mind thinking the other word. Yeah, but let's get into this. So first off, you're in your stance, your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Now that's very important for good striking, is relaxation through the shoulders, okay? So good luck trying to get that as a beginner. All right, So you're here. The first part here, when I do this hook shot, I want to load it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot my back foot, bring my rear shoulder forward, okay? Boom, and now I'm loaded. What I tell my beginners is bring that elbow to your pocket, and then they do this. But it's just a way for me to tell you to bring that elbow in tight, okay? See, it's in this comfortable place right next to my ribs, okay? I don't literally mean in my pocket, okay? So, pivot on that back foot, bring that rear shoulder forward. A cool thing to think about is just, look, when I'm in my stance, my lead shoulder is forward. Before I throw the hook, my rear shoulder is forward. It's just, boom, you change the angle here. Boom, boom, okay? Good. From here now, what I want to do, what I like to tell people to do is pretend like you have a string tied to your big toe and to your fist here, okay? So when I pivot, I open the elbow as I pivot. What people tend to do is this. They'll go like this, right? Now, that's not that bad in that at least they're opening up the elbow and they're pivoting into it. But the problem with that is if you throw a hook shot like that, if I'm going to throw a hook shot at you, yeah, you get up off the couch. Watch this. My ribs are just there for the taking. And, you know, quite honestly, when I was learning this strike, I used to do that a lot until I got broken ribs. And I was like, oh, shit, that's why, okay? Funny story about that. My teacher, he kept telling me, stop winging your elbows. Stop chicken winging. Chicken winging. Stop your elbows. Get your elbow tight. Get your elbow tight. I couldn't get it until, you know, in a sparring match, he just really gave me a killer rib shot, dropped me. I was like, oh, if you ever got one of those rib shots, you know, ah. And he stood over me and he said, get up, get up. Now, is that abuse? That might be abuse. I don't know. But I remember leaving that class that day kind of feeling like, oh, I have reached the next level, right? Because that's a great lesson, right? Get up. You got knocked down. Get up. Think about if that was a real street fight. If I would go down like that in a real street fight with someone who's still trying to do violence to me, you can get hurt really bad, right? And fighters know when you get hurt, you can't fucking stop, right? And if you get knocked down, you got to get your ass back up, right? So good lesson. I digress. Squirrel. Okay, let's go back. So from here, again, what I like to tell people to do is pretend like there's a string tied to their big toe and to their hand. So the elbow doesn't open until the foot starts to pivot, okay? Now, very important, don't pivot too much, okay? Another thing people do, if I'm facing the camera, is they'll go like this, and they'll pivot too much. And another thing they'll do, go ahead, eyes are back up here, is they'll turn their head like that. Don't do that. Keep your head tucked, boom, okay? And when I throw that hook shot, I'm gonna throw it, boom, just a little bit past center line. Okay? I want my elbow to be behind my fist. I like palm in. Some people like palm down, but I like palm in, so that's how I'm going to teach it. And of course, we're going for these top two knuckles. So it's just right here. Boom. Pivot, rear shoulder comes forward. Boom. Okay? And don't over pivot with that lead foot. Boom. Slow motion. Good. Elbow behind the fist. You got the head shot right here going to the chin. Boom. Body shot. Right there. Missed that one. Good. And how I like to do this, palm in for in close, but I will start to turn it palm down if it's more of a further away strike, if I'm throwing it from further away. Because if I keep palm in, if you notice this, and this angle gets less and less here in my elbow, then I don't have good structure in my wrist, right? See that? So when I get far away, I'm a little bit further away, I go palm down. Now I have good structure in my wrist still, and I can still hit with those top 2 knuckles. So we'll do some of those. Good. So let's go ahead and put some gloves on and let loose on some of this. Great. Yeah, so this episode? This video is sponsored by, no, just kidding. Just joking. Anyways, so important once you get down the hook shot, boom, that you start to throw it in combos, okay? So some of our combos here, combo number 6, we got our lead hook, rear cross, lead hook, okay? That's a good one. Combo number 3, jab, cross, hook, okay? Combo number 7, cross, hook, cross. So make sure you're throwing it in to movements that work together, okay? You know, you have coaches for fighters study tape on opponents, and they'll put together certain combinations for certain people, and I think that's very, very smart, especially for people that are punching each other in the face for a living, right? Anything you can do for a leg up. But since we're not one of those people, we're putting together combos that are good for, you know, if we have to use them in the street, right? So there's a reason why you do a hook and a cross and a hook, right? Because when I throw a hook, how they defend, if they defend a certain way, could open them up for a cross. How I throw a cross, if they defend a certain way, could open them up for a hook, and so on and so forth. So be mindful about your combinations, how you're putting them together, and then just let them loose, right? So I'll throw out some of these here. Good, just some simple combo work to show how the hook works in with that stuff. Most important thing is practice. You gotta practice, right? Set a timer. You know, I usually do at least once a week. I'll do 12 rounds. Oh, more than that. I'll do an hour of 3-minute rounds with 30 seconds in between, right? Get yourself all sweaty. Snot coming out of the nose, right? Your heart's pounding. Judas Priest is rocking, right? How good can you keep that technique towards the end of your movements, or towards the end of your workout, okay? It's very important. Maybe what I'll do, be very careful about this number here. So for the low kick video, I did 1,000 roundhouse kicks, which really, I mean, I was done with those in about a half hour. I did 2 separate sessions. I'll go ahead and get into, let's do this. I'll post 500 hook shots, lead hook shots. It's not that much, but you really want to get into that repetition, that drill, because we want to feed our nervous system these movements. Once you got it down, right? Boom, boom. Boom. Once you got it down, start feeding your nervous system, okay? Feeding your nervous system with the movements, okay? So that's it for today. I'd love to thank everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment, even if you're talking shit. I love it when people talk shit, okay? It's great. And I think we have almost 70 subscribers now, right? You could be the 70th.